Let it strong. Roll it up, let's roll it up. Why talk about it, be about it, take another shot.
Hey, yo, what's going down? I'm OD, and this is Slump Sessions, the show that is the culture. This episode is brought to you by Fishscale 84. Head over to fishscale84.com, get you some clothes, pick you out a fit. Man, you're going to be the flyest motherfucker in the city. That, again, is fishscale84.com. Head over, get you some clothes. We got Phenomenon the Poet in the building.
Hey.
Is it just Phenomenon, or is it Phenomenon the Poet, the whole?
It's Phenomenon the Poet, the whole thing.
Okay.
There's some other phenoms and so Phenomenon the Poet is the whole thing.
Okay, I like that. It's a little lengthy.
It is.
But it's descriptive.
It is. You can just call me Phenom. But yeah, when I write it, when people tell people my name, it's always Phenomenon the Poet.
Okay. So let's kind of start it out with, who is Phenomenon?
Man, Phenomenon the Poet is a performance artist. Like, I'm an artist that specializes in performance, even if it's like just content creation or recording or on stage. That's why I feel the most comfortable.
On stage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I just create content. I'm a creative person that specializes in words and performance.
Okay. I like that. It's different.
I know. It's weird and different because you can't put it in a box. The closest genre box I can come up with is trap funk.
Yeah. And you're not just an artist, you're not just a singer or a rapper. You do poetry, and then I've seen you do things on Instagram where you're very motivational, and so you do it all.
Yeah, I'm a performance artist.
A performance artist. Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you from?
Man, I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
South Side, Roseland. Everybody, what's happening?
How long were you there for?
Man, born and raised.
All the way to
until 2012 or 2013.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I moved to Houston.
Oh, why did you move?
It was time.
And why Houston though?
Man, this is gonna seem ridiculous, but I prayed about it and said, okay, it's gonna be Vegas or Houston. And then I came to Houston just to look around, and everything just fell in place. Everything fell in place. So I was like, I'm just gonna take a step on faith. I didn't have a job when I moved here. I didn't have a car when I moved here. I was full-time performance artist.
Oh wow.
And
I feel like Vegas would have been a lot harder.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it has that.
Have you ever thought about what if you actually moved to Vegas instead?
I'd be working in a casino some damn way. I'd be making money.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be as happy.
Do you think you would have gotten into like what you're doing here over there, or?
Yeah, it was an inevitable progression.
Okay.
But it would have been a harder road to hoe.
Yeah.
Down there in Houston.
There's so much
perfect.
like distraction and stuff over there.
Yeah, Vegas just would have been about the money.
Yeah.
And that
all about money.
And that's great. Don't get me wrong. Money is amazing, but it's not fulfilling.
No, I feel like Houston is very, I don't know, like homely. Somebody comes here and it just feels right.
I mean, it feels right. You got good food. The weather is warm.
Amazing.
Do you know it's snowing in Chicago right goddamn now?
In where
in Chicago, it is snowing. It is a snowstorm.
We're in April and it's
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
it was time to leave that.
It was time to go.
You don't like the snow?
Man, listen. You turn one or two corners and press the brakes and your car keep going. It's time to go.
You want to press the brakes and be able to stop.
Stop. I remember turning the corner on Halsted and hit the brakes, and my car kept going, and I was like, it's time to leave.
Yeah, I think it's time for me to move.
It's time to get the fuck on.
I think it's time for me to move. It's time to get out of here.
Right. I'm like, what you say, Lord?
My car's not doing my car's not doing what I tell it to do. I say brake, it doesn't brake. No.
The car's disobedient. It's time for me to go.
So you came to Houston. Do you like it here?
I love it here. I'm a family person. So, and I think family is more so. It's not necessarily about blood.
Yeah.
So I have a whole family here now.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A group of friends and supportive indie artist cousins, and a support system. So I love it. I love it.
It's different. I mean, I'm sure you have all your family still up there in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
But it's different coming from like blood to making just friends down here that are just genuine people that they feel like family. They are family.
Yeah, they help you like family, get on your damn nerve like family. Mm-hmm. It's just like family, you know. I do get homesick from time to time, but some of the time you got to do what you have to do first. And I feel like me being in Houston and working is what I have to do for me.
So in Chicago, what were you doing, you know, there?
Man, in Chicago, honestly, I was a hustler. I did what paid the bills. I'm gonna be honest. I worked in real estate right before I came.
Okay.
Corporate. Before that, I was a brick mason.
Wow.
I worked as a phlebotomist.
So you have no problem working with your hands.
I do.
You're a brick mason.
Where the money is, baby.
And then you go from phlebotomy to brick masonry.
Was it phlebotomy to brick masonry or brick mason to phlebotomy? But I did.
Either way, that's a jump.
Yeah, it was like whatever was in demand was what I was doing.
Okay.
And which is what a lot of people do. It's just like you don't even think about passion. You think about paying bills.
Yeah.
Like what you passionate about? Turning the fucking lights on.
Yep.
That's the passion.
Coming home to a place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm passionate about having a bed and sleeping somewhere.
Man, I'm passionate about eating today and tomorrow.
Yep.
That's what it was. But that's what I did before I came real estate, and I was still performing like slam poetry, traveling, and just slamming for money.
Okay. So is it as bad like up there as people really say it is, or? I mean, because Chicago has that connotation of being everybody calls it Chirac, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I personally never talked to somebody from Chicago. This is a first for me, so I gotta ask.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a normal question, especially the way it's portrayed. But I say,
especially in music.
Oh yeah. But it's some great musicians up there, great artists up there. I feel like the ones that get highlighted the most are the ones that are on.
I was about to say that
drill shit.
I feel like, you know, just like here, just like everywhere, there's a people at the top that get, you know, portray, you know, everybody talks about, but then there's a whole underlying of amazing artists. Mm-hmm. So what is the underground scene like up there?
Well, now I'm gonna be honest. When I was there, the underground scene that I was in the most was like the neo soul scene, which was like bar heavy hip hop and poetry. So I didn't really kick it with the drill music people, and which I love. I love the drill music shit, just like I love the boom bap shit. But the underground scene was very loving. It was cliquish. Mm-hmm. And if you stepped outside of the scene that I was in, like, it was all about positivity and growth. Yeah. Right? So if you start doing too much twerk music, trap music, things like that, you lost the respect in that scene. So then you would have to step out and find that gutter kind of scene.
And I think that's different because over here, I know you're doing, you do, you know, some booty shaking music all the way to some really like soulful bar heavy music.
Yeah, man.
And over here, I guess it's not the same.
I stepped outside of that. And I do catch some flack from some of my poet friends back home. It's like, that's not real art. But
art is what the artist makes it.
Exactly. So, I mean, I appreciate their input. But then again, it's okay. Yeah. Opinions are like asses.
Everybody's got one.
Everybody got one.
I'm sure whenever Picasso first started painting, somebody was like, that's not art. What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
And then he was like, look, this is my art. And then somebody was like, okay, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah. And it's a hodgepodge of people pushed together with different ideas. It's just like Chicago and the violence. I feel like Chicago is like a finance broad at a strip club. Okay. Depending on which one you get, one might be beautiful, got her head on straight, she doing things, she fine, getting her own money. You can respect that neighborhood. And then there's some neighborhoods, like that other broad at the strip club. That bitch gonna rob you later, like that.
She gonna act sweet until later.
Exactly. So it's just like it's different neighborhoods, different areas, but overall it is a beautiful city. Ain't nothing like Chicago in the summer. Oh my God.
They got the Bean, don't they? Is that up there in Chicago?
Yeah, the Bean is up there in Chicago, but the good stuff is the stuff that the mainstream can't show, like Lakeshore Drive in the summer.
Okay, what is that?
Lakeshore Drive is like Lake Michigan by the beach. So when you're driving down Lakeshore Drive in the summer, you see the whole skyline, you see the water, you see all the beaches, all the people. And then over on 67th, 69th Street, over on the east side by the beach, in the summer, all of the cars, and I don't know if they still do this, but all of the real nice cars will just line up and play their music real loud, and it just become the kicking spot. Girls will dress up to go and just walk by and kick it and meet guys and drink and smoke and just be live.
And why do you think that they mainly, like, you think of Chicago, they mainly show like the Bean?
Because the people who are taking pictures and the people in the media aren't really in tune with the actual city.
What's going on?
With the real people, which is, it's like a separation. It's the classism. Like, oh, this is what we know about Chicago. It's right, because you don't know shit about Chicago.
I don't even understand the Bean.
Exactly. People come to see the Bean. If I'm going to see Lakeshore Drive. I'm going to see the cars. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the reggae picnic. Oh, the house picnic.
I like the sound of a reggae picnic.
Oh, man.
That sounds like a good time.
Man.
That sounds like a good time plus really good food.
Yes, and strong alcohol.
Oh.
And great DJs.
Some of the best DJs.
Multiple DJs on the beach. Girls in scantily clad clothing. Watch out there now.
Hey, Chicago sounds like a pretty nice place to go.
It is. It is. You definitely have to visit, man.
I've never really been out of Texas, which is really crazy.
Are you serious?
I've been to Florida. Okay, but that doesn't count. Everybody goes to Florida at least once or something. Whenever you're younger, I don't know. I guess I've never been up north, definitely.
Oh, man. You got Taste of Chicago. You got to go during the summer, during the Taste of Chicago.
Okay.
It's just.
And then I'm going to call you and I'm like, okay, what do I do next?
And I'll tell you where to go. I'll call my friends and be like, hey, man, hook them up.
Okay. So how was it like growing up there? Like, how was your upbringing there?
It was diverse. I had a versatile upbringing. And when I say that, I mean, I grew up in the hood, like smack dab in the middle of some of the roughest hoods.
You said South Side, right?
South Side.
Okay.
I stayed in Roseland, and then I moved to Inglewood.
Okay.
So these are some of the roughest areas.
Those are rough names.
90s. Yeah.
You go to a city in Inglewood is always a rough neighborhood.
Yeah. It was rough, but I also saw back then my grandparents were heavily involved in politics.
Okay.
So we knew a lot of politicians. But then we knew a lot of dope dealers and pimps, and like not TV pimps, real
actual pimps. And it's not, and they don't dress like they do in the movies.
Oh man, real pimps, like the pimps that I grew up around, they had very expensive clothing. Very expensive clothing, very expensive fabrics. They were very boisterous with their colors and things like that. But, yeah, and the way they talk.
You could just,
Man, listen, you going to hold up or blow up. You going to get down the layout, baby. I'm trying to make you a star. You acting like you don't want to go to the moon. What you want to do? That
sounded like I was watching a movie right there.
That was real life.
Wow, okay.
That's who I grew up around. So I saw some positive things. But then I saw a lot of.
So you had
stuff.
It was very broad. You saw two different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So growing up in the politics, you saw people really trying to do changes and stuff, or.
Yeah. We were very involved in the election where Bobby Rush beat Barack Obama the first time when he was running for Congress.
Oh wow.
And to see that, because no one knew who Barack was then.
Yeah.
He was this dude. Bobby had the power. He was a ex-Black Panther. So my grandparents.
So he was real.
Real. So, yeah, I saw that. I was really, really around to see that. But we still stayed in a neighborhood where there were gunfights on the regular.
Oh wow. Okay. So did you kind of was anybody doing music or anything other than, you said they were in politics and stuff, but was anybody into music or? So how did you get into it?
I think I just started writing poetry. I just started writing poetry. That's really how it started. It was an escape. I didn't really have anyone to. Everyone I was around was involved in the things that we were involved in.
Yeah.
So it was
was
the block kids.
And it was your escape to get away from that?
Right. Yeah, just to write. So maybe a neighbor or something, they have a rap group, and I used to beg to be in a rap group. They wouldn't let me. I want to know where they ass at right now. Where's Chris? Chris from Lafayette. Where you at?
Chris, where you at?
I got bars, fam. No.
I got Phenomenon, the poet, with me. Come on now.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. But nobody was really doing music.
How was the schools over there? Because I'm sure you were, in school. Were you in school whenever you started doing the poetry and stuff?
Yeah, but that wasn't popular.
Okay.
That wasn't popular then. That it was a rough area. You can't come out and be like, I'm a poet. They're going to beat your ass.
I'm going to do some poetry.
No. The things we had to brag about then were the things that made you hard. So not poetry. I used to write poetry, but I didn't tell nobody.
Okay. So, I mean, it was the poetry that came before the music. How did you start getting into the music side of it?
I started writing songs on my own, but it really hit hard when I came to Houston, because I felt like the universe had given me permission to explore that side. I felt like I was kind of in a box in Chicago because I always wanted to make the people that I love happy and make them proud of me. Okay. And I was very close to my poetry scene people. So for them to not really support that as much, not the way that I wanted to do it, I can be deep in certain areas. That's just who I am. But there's a ratchet side of anybody. There's duality. So I wanted to explore the duality.
And they weren't feeling it. Did that kind of hurt? Like, you didn't get the support that you feel like you're just doing something that you want to do. Yeah.
I understand it. I understand where they were coming from. They were the elders. The elders were like, you want to perpetuate positivity and not negativity. And I respect that. But again, there's duality.
But then again, you're not, spreading messages of picking up the gun and going to...
No, I'm not.
You could be that. Positive and booty shake too.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can shake your ass for positivity.
It's fun. You're just having some fun.
Exactly. So I think now everybody's grown now. Some of my elders have went on to glory, and then some of them are still around. So, but hey, I'm a grown woman now. I was real young then.
So for people who might not know, what is slam poetry? You're a 21-time champion? Yeah.
Okay. So there's a difference between slam poetry and spoken word competitions.
Okay.
So spoken word competitions is where I thrive because the rules are more lax.
Okay.
Slam, when you're doing slam, is really strict and point based. You know what I'm saying? So spoken word poetry, you can go in. I can act a fool. I can yank a wig off in the middle of my goddamn poem if it gets the reaction that I need from the judges. So I would just go to different cities, different states, different countries, pull up, not let anyone know, enter their competition, and walk away with the money. Because if don't nobody know you, it's an old proverb: a prophet is without honor in his own home. So they respect you more when they don't know you.
You just go up there and they're like, okay, I don't know you, but then it kind of makes them pay attention to you a little bit more.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're not the regular face. You go up there, you kill it, take the money.
And leave quickly. I am not the one to stay around in the city with money, baby. Some of the time I won't even get a hotel room.
Wow.
I come in and then leave right back out.
Wow.
It's a budget thing too when I was full time doing it.
So, but what is the kind of the difference? Like slam poetry, you said is point based?
So yeah, slam poetry, there's points. It's like you get points for this, points for that, points for this. And in spoken word competitions, it's more so about your performance, the poem, and the words. Like it's more so about performance.
Okay. And
slam poetry is about performance too, but they're very strict. And I'm not a big stickler for rules.
I used to watch the Def Jam. What was it? The Def Jam.
Louder Than a Bomb.
Yeah.
What is it?
It was the Def Jam, like slam poetry.
Oh, you talking about Def Poetry Jam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that like a big thing whenever you were growing up, and was that kind of like an influence to you, or?
Yeah, because when you were traveling as a traveling poet to get paid, if you were on Def Poetry Jam, that would just change your rate immediately.
Wow.
That would change. I knew, like right now, I know maybe about 6 deaf poets, and it really did help boost, their resume so that they can charge a bit more when they travel. They were amazing in their own rights before, but
That's a whole different thing. That's crazy because that was a lot more in the forefront back in the day than it is now.
Yeah.
People were paying attention. It was on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing. But then afterwards they had lyrics. BT had lyrics lounge or something like that. And then I think TV1 did Verses and Flow. I did season 4 of that. So it's a lot of different ones that pop up over time. It's just that they're not lasting like Def Poetry did. Okay,
well you can't just move past. You did season 4 of that.
It was cool. That was the first time I was out in
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
I did season 4 of that. I want to hear about this.
That was cool. They picked a certain amount of artists. I met an amazing artist in Houston when I was there too. Deontay Scott. He works for Google or Facebook now.
Wow.
But just connections. That's what I'm learning too. It's all about who you know.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I went out there. It was cool. Everybody. It was sunshiny. People was just spending money. Goals.
Wow.
Goals.
That's.
I was like, I'm leaving, but everybody else who stayed there was still staying there. And I saw him spending money from the goddamn airport. I was like, look at him. Look at him living my life.
Them sons of bitches.
I know. I was like, look at they happy asses as I was getting on my Spirit flight.
This Spirit flight. Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
That is... man, listen. That is a dude named Jeff who had a plane and was like, "No, we'll fly you there." And
he got enough money from doing that. He's like, "I'm gonna buy another plane."
Yes.
I'm gonna just buy another one.
And his father said, "That's the spirit," and that's what the fuck happened.
That's the spirit, Jeff. And he's like, "You're right, Dad. You're right."
That's what I'm gonna call it.
So how do you get this confidence to just go on stage and do it? Because you've been doing it for so long, but. For some people, like performing a rap song or singing on stage is different than doing an a cappella poem.
I think I did it the right way because I'm used to having to hold an audience with no music.
With no music.
Now you give me music, I can fuck it up.
You do it whenever everybody's just complete silence.
Right.
You have no beat, no nothing, and if you're able to just hold them there in your hand.
Yeah. That's why I keep the poet at the end of my name, because even if you take the music away from what I'm saying, you still want to listen to me, and that's the goal.
Okay.
My music is comedic, it's funny at times, so you really want to listen to it, and you get confident because hell, I done been talked about. I'm gonna be alright.
Everybody.
You see what I'm saying? And then I'm on stage. I'm the one with the mic. You can yell from the audience all you want.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. There's always somebody who's gonna be in the crowd, say something by themselves, but at the end, you're the one performing.
We can't hear you.
Yeah,
it is.
I can't see you. These stage lights are in my face.
Exactly.
I can't see you.
Yeah, it's like somebody pulling out a pistol and shooting at the moon.
It ain't gonna do nothing.
Nothing, and that's how I feel when I step on stage.
Okay, so you came to Houston. You said you didn't have a job. You didn't have nothing.
Hell no.
How did you go from, nothing to being in the studio and actually working on your music?
I answered an ad, Barron Studios.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. I know.
I answered that ad, and I went in and did the interview. And Todd's one of the owners.
Yeah, shout out to Todd. I know Todd. That's where I first saw you, was at the Indie Fest.
Yeah.
I saw you there.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Todd. Todd gave me the tickets. He gave me the pass. I set up.
And it was great.
It was.
Man, they killed it. It was so many dope ass artists out there. I went in and talked to Todd and did the interview, and he was like, hey, this is... He was very realistic, but I'm a an ambitious person, he was like, yeah, it's just a part-time position. I don't really know if it's any growth or anything like that. And he was real humble with it. And I was like, what?
I'll take it.
Yeah. The funniest thing about when he did hire me, he said, why should I hire you? And I gave him all the resume reasons. And then at the end, I was like, and I'm from Chicago, so I could raise your street credit by 50%. And he laughed. He was like, that's sense of humor.
Okay.
All right, let's do this shit. But yeah, so I mean, even though it started out as just a little part-time thing, I stayed, worked my way up for a while, and ended up being assistant manager. And that's when I really started taking my music seriously, because I stayed there for a while and watched so many amazing artists come through the building.
And you learned so much just being around there.
Watch what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I spent maybe about 2 years watching what worked and what didn't work. And then I'm like, I'm ready.
Wow, that's crazy. And it's like almost like fate, kind of, that you get the job at a recording studio.
Yeah.
And not just any recording studio, Barron Studio.
Barron. And I had no idea. That Barron had like such a footprint in the city.
Yeah. A lot of really, known artists go through there.
Yeah, man. When I come in and I rub you, I don't know if you remember Showtime at the Apollo.
Yeah.
When they would rub the log when they would come out to perform. Shit, I would show up every morning and rub that goddamn desk like, come on, baby, come on. I know it's in here.
That's something.
Let me get it on me.
So, what is the process between writing a poem and versus writing some music, like a piece of music? What is the difference, of the process? Or do you approach it all the same way?
Music, and I write like I'm performing. Okay. I write everything to be performed on stage. The only time I'm not is if it's like a poem. Certain poems I just write for me, but I write like theater.
Okay.
That's from the beginning to end. Facial expressions, the way I emote, I write for people to see it.
Cause I was looking back at your YouTube channel.
Oh my God, there's so much old stuff on there. I got to do battle.
It goes back, I think like 9 years.
That's how long? Yeah, just poetry.
Wow, yeah. And so it was good to see like where you first started recording yourselves. I think the first one was on there might have been to a guy who went to prison for I think a rape or something, and you wrote a poem.
The Butt.
Yes, The Butt. That's what it was called.
Listen.
You wrote a whole poem about this guy.
It was so vicious.
Getting raped in prison.
Yeah. Amen. Some of the time, some shit need to happen, man. It's universal law.
Yeah.
Some stuff you just earn.
Yeah. I listened to it and I was like, whoa. Very descriptive.
I am a vicious artist. I'm going to tell you. There's some things that come out my mouth. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, that was harsh. But some stuff need to be said. Yeah. Some stuff need to be said. I feel like in this day and age, everybody's so politically correct. Say how you feel. I respect that.
Yeah. I don't like, that whole political correctness. Like you said, like if I want to say something, I'm going to say it. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. Yeah. And I'm not saying anything to like try to offend anybody. Of course, I'm not going to be purposely offensive.
No, nobody intends to.
Yeah.
But shit, if we all hanging out at dinner and somebody say, what do you think of my new girlfriend? And I say, ooh, she ain't shit. And her mama ain't shit. And if y'all had kids, y'all kids ain't gonna be shit. It is not to offend you. It is to let you know that's how I feel.
That's how I feel. I'm not gonna lie. You don't lie and be like, yeah, she's great.
And look, it hurt. It hurt your face to even lie like that.
It's wonderful.
No.
It's easier just to be yourself.
That's what I can do in music. Yeah. In poetry, I felt like I had to be positive, which was a great thing that I was taught. But then,
not everything is so positive though. Like the butt.
The butt wasn't positive at all.
It wasn't positive, but it had a strong message behind it, and it was, towards something that was it was a horrific thing that happened.
Yeah.
and it was just you kind of expressing yourself to that.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be positive, but it was at the end you.
And I felt like somebody had to say it. Everybody was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pray for him." No. Why are we doing this? Why are we this? He did a horrible thing, and now we gonna pray? No, but
it's funny that you remember that one on there.
I remember every poem that I've ever written.
And that was the first one on the YouTube channel. You just said, I'm starting this YouTube channel with this one.
Damn, that was so long ago. Jeez, you did your research.
I did.
Journalistic integrity up in this motherfucker.
I went back. It's good to see, the
progression.
The progression.
Oh yeah, I'm an adult now. Oh man, I was so young.
You had different hair. You just looked like you were fresh in the game of.
I was. Oh man, I didn't even have my hair braided. It was just all over the place.
Yeah, I think you had like a little afro going on or something. See? All natural.
All natural. Yeah. I loved wigs though. I love wigs. If I could stick my locks under a wig right now, I would.
I don't know how that would look.
It not well. I've tried.
You tried?
I've tried. It just doesn't work.
So, I mean, that's something that you actually, bring to your artistry and stuff, is being, kind of natural and.
Yeah. I'm all about the natural girl. I feel like that's the. I'm gonna tell you that influenced Assassin Snail title.
Okay,
being
that's
natural. Because there's so many amazing women artists out, right? But a lot of them look the same.
Yeah.
And that could be partially because that's what's acceptable in the industry,
and that's what they're pushing.
That's what they're pushing, or partially just because that's who they are on the inside. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But the issue I have, you have to leave way for women who are different. I'm different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when there's tons of snails, they reproduce quick. They'll take over your tank.
I remember I was reading that it was the Houston Press.
Yeah.
I read the Houston Press article that they did on you.
Yes.
And it made me kind of laugh just because her brother is dealing with the same thing of a bunch of snails in his fish tank. I just made me laugh.
Yes, and the only way to get it out is to bring in an assassin snail, and that snail will eat all of the other regular snails and get some goddamn order up in that tank. And that's exactly what we need. That's what your brother need. You tell him, call me, put my big ass in a swimsuit. I jump in the tank, and fuck them snails up. Baby, let's do it. I am the assassin snail. Yes, just make room for the natural woman. Make room for the woman that is not a size 8, not a size 6, maybe a size 16, with some stretch marks in the belly, who got bars, goddammit.
And I think that's something that's left out. That's definitely something left out.
Yes, it is. We got Lizzo. Lizzo fine. Well, that's not what I was supposed to say. Lizzo is talented.
She's very talented.
Lizzo's talented. And I love that, but we need we need something a little harder.
And okay, what do you think of like them actually just pushing that image to everybody?
I think it's.
Do you think it's harmful?
Yeah, it's problematic to our little girls growing up who want to be themselves, and if this is who they are, great. They feel like they can succeed in this area, but for the ones that don't look like that, I want them to be encouraged too. Yeah. For the ones with natural nappy hair like me, I want you to be encouraged too. For that texture. Yeah.
For that little girl who doesn't like putting the wig on or something.
Yeah, who wants to just come out natural face, get in a cipher and eat some things up. There needs to be someone that says you can be that. I had that growing up. I had Queen Latifah. So when I think about now, who I can compare myself to, I would think a new school, a little dirtier, Queen Latifah.
Okay. I like Queen Latifah.
I do, and we haven't had anybody like that.
No. And one thing that also bothers me is whenever somebody's like, she's good for a girl.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
She's got bars for a girl. Like, come on now.
Man, I don't agree with separating the battle rap leagues. You know
Yeah.
how the leagues are male and female?
Yeah.
Put them together. Put them together because and you don't want to do that. Some people don't want to do that because then you'll find out some of your favorite male rappers shouldn't be your favorite male fucking rapper. There are some women out here that can, Snow the product.
Oh, yeah.
Snow can have some rappers for dinner.
Shout out to Snow the product. She's coming. She's coming to Houston.
Really?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna be there. I'm trying to be there. Her producer actually did my logo.
Really?
Yeah.
Snow, baby, I'm gonna need that feature.
Hey.
Okay, listen, Snow, baby. It's snowing in Chicago right goddamn now. Listen to me, okay? I'm from the Windy City. Snow and Windy City go together, okay?
Hey.
You got bars, I got bars. Let's put them together and build a cage for some of these weak-ass rappers. Come on, let's do it.
Shout out Snow. Shout out to Castro Escobar, really doing his thing. He's also from Houston.
Oh, man,
Yep.
Houston's
Shout out to
kicking out
Castro
some
Escobar.
shit.
And shout out to E.C. Martinez. He is the producer. He is the graphic designer. He actually,
AC,
Hey.
what's happening?
get you a Slump Session shirt. E.C.
Yes.
He designed this one too.
Oh, multi-talented.
Yeah.
So you making music and see when you just creative. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. When you creative, you're just creative.
Yeah. So yeah, he's very creative. I was chilling with him the other day.
I like
He's-
that a lot too.
Thank you.
He sell those?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah, when the camera come off, we gonna.
Thank you.
And then I'm cheap, so I'm gonna haggle your ass down. Be like, listen, I can give you some stir fry,
Hey, that sounds delicious.
food for shirts instead of food for thought.
But yeah, I mean that whole battle rapping and separation of male and female. I think if you got bars, you got bars. That's it.
Yeah, I look forward to doing I'm doing some features now. I look forward to doing more features with men.
Okay.
Just so you can see that talent is talent. And
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what gender. You know what I'm saying? If someone is talented, they're talented, whether they have ovaries or penis.
Yeah.
And if they whack, I'm not gonna ignore your whackness because you got a nutsack, fam. Right, better.
A whack MC is a whack MC no matter what.
Exactly. But I mean, it's all about hard work, and then iron sharpens iron. So I like being around people that got heat because that's who
It helps you try to step your
Exactly. All my indie artist cousins, listen, hang around dope people.
Yes.
Okay. You don't want to hang around whack people because whack people make you feel good and boost your ego. And not to say they're gonna be whack forever, but they may not be on your level. Hang around with people that challenge you. God damn it.
Definitely. I think this is a great time to say let's shout out to Reneka App Builders, the sponsor of this show. Another sponsor to this show, Reneka App Builders. Head over to renekaappbuilders.com. Get you an app, get you a website, step your app game up. Anything you need, app related, website related, social media campaigns, go over there. Once again, renekaappbuilders.com. Let's get back into this interview. Phenomenon the poet.
Yeah.
Had to do it. Had to take a little break.
No problem. Especially because all of the indie artist cousins, you need your website. You need your apps and your promo materials.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So take advantage of that.
She covers it all. Everything.
That's what I'm talking about.
So let's get into your music. Let's get into
my baby.
Yes, let's get into the beginning stages of you doing music. How was it? You said you worked at Barron Studios before you actually started taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And how was it whenever you're like, I'm just gonna do it?
It was stressful because I had seen so much success come up out of the studio. And when you see so much success, you start realizing that it's possible and then how to make it possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then working at Barron Studio, the standard is so high. The engineers, they take what they do so seriously. Like they love it, they live it. So it's like you work here, so you can't put out anything that doesn't sound good.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times, multiple engineers that work there will work on one of my songs just because the standard was higher. So it was stressful, but it was so worth it. It was so worth it.
You got quality music.
Quality music, quality critiques. I don't want anybody to think if your engineer is a yes man, you got the wrong goddamn engineer. The engineers,
That's like the last line of defense.
It really is. If the engineer goes, do another mix on that. And a lot of times we don't, you know, artists like, I know this sounds good to me, and you put it out and you wonder why it doesn't get the same. If it needs it, it needs it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned to do. It's some shit, man. It was fun to do, but it was stressful. I'm not gonna lie.
It's crazy. Even just like doing this job, you hear so many like levels to recordings, and there's only so much you can listen to. If you can have the best song in the world, but if it's poorly done, it's just kind of hard to listen to.
Yeah, it is. Look at Me, X's song. It
That was like
popped.
on the cusp.
It was
of
the audio quality of it.
yeah.
Cause when he first did it, it came from the mud. He did that from the dirt.
Yeah.
And it came out, and the vibe was right. That's why when certain people, I feel like I've learned so much about the vibe. Like if the vibe is good, then the sound quality can be overlooked. But even when they re-put the song out, they fix that.
Yeah.
They fix that. So it does matter, the audio quality. The more you know, the better you should do. You can't keep learning things and not using the shit you learn.
That's true. That's true. So what was the first project that you started doing?
The first project I started doing was I did a mixtape when I first got to, around 2016, I did a mixtape called Goddess on Deck.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very Chicago. It was very Chicago implant in Houston. So it was house music heavy. It was just bars, and it was basically poetry with music behind it. Real fun. But when I did my EP, like more seriously a few years later, I started really working with producers, like really getting into the production value, tracked out beats. We're going to sit down and really think about this concept. And that's something I didn't do the first time. I wanted to put something out because everybody around me was putting something out.
Yeah. You just kind of wanted to have something out there too.
Yeah, yeah. And it was good. It was a good idea to get my feet wet.
It was a good starting point.
It was a great starting point because it let me know I can go back and listen to that and hear the, the difference.
And how do you think you've grown, since that to the Assassin Snail?
I care less about what people think.
Okay. Not about the music, just about
I care more about the music and how it makes me feel in a mirror, and less about what people think. And I think that's why it's being received so well, because I wrote it not giving a fuck what anybody thought. And that works. I feel like if it worked in one area, I should start using it in others.
Yeah, I mean, if you're feeling that way, somebody else is feeling that way.
Yes, yeah.
And that's how it always is.
Yeah, and to be offensive and not give a fuck. I started off a song saying, I heard your daddy like him kind of round. Maybe I could play your stepmom while I'm in town. That kind of shit. That, I don't give a fuck what you think. That was funny to me.
Yeah. and it sounds good too. It sounds it's bars. Come on now.
Yeah. That kind, man, we need that. Fun rap. Ludacris was fun rap.
He's one of my favorite artists, not even just artists from the South.
Yeah.
He's just one of my favorite artists. He carried over that creativity to his videos, to just the way he was very animated, even Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, and now I hadn't seen that in a long time until Tissa Korean.
Okay.
Tissa's fun.
Yeah.
Tissa's fun to watch. Tissa's fun to listen to. And I hadn't seen that in a long time. So I'm excited to be he recorded at Barron Studio too. Tissa Korean. Shout out Tissa, man.
Hey, yeah.
Whoa. But yeah, that kind of funness. That's what I'm looking for. I see that funness in Tissa. I see the work ethic of old school artists. I see that in Toby.
Oh yeah.
The work ethic.
He's out there.
I feel like that's a Beyonce work ethic, because they don't. Back in the day, they'd make you run around a track while spitting your rhymes. They don't too much do that anymore.
Yeah.
But that's the work ethic that he has. So I'm seeing success in picking the things that I need for myself from the lessons that I'm watching other people learn.
I like that. I mean, you take all these different influences and not influences in sound, but influences in work.
Yeah, it's successful influences.
Yeah.
I take the successful things that people have and use.
So you're, like you were talking about earlier, you're very into spreading, the message of being natural and stuff. Where did that kind of confidence and stuff come from?
It was a day-by-day thing. It was like falling in love with yourself without the eyelashes, falling in love with yourself without the makeup and the weaves and the wig and stuff like that. And shit, after a while, I started really liking what I saw.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you know what? Everybody else should get on this wave. So I just wanted to be a positive view for women who at one point did not like what they saw in the mirror naturally, and learn to like it, learn to love it. People who are still learning to love it, I'm here for you. I got you. I got music for you. I got poetry for you. I got comedy for you. Listen.
And it's not just in your makeup and stuff. It's body positivity. You're really spreading, that kind of message too.
Oh yeah. And see, I started that a while ago. I did a song called Big Girls Jiggle, and it was all about big girls jiggle. You know what I'm saying? Big girls jiggle. Don't you try and fight it. These cats might talk about it, but they know they really like it. You see what I'm saying? Shit. So it's okay. It's okay. There's somebody for everybody. Somebody likes what you like. We just being fed shit by the media, man, and it's messing with our minds. So it's like we have to actually get out and communicate with people and see that people love us. Yeah,
because everybody sees, these people on TV and they want to be that too, not really feeling like they're the most good-looking person themselves.
And them hoes ain't happy.
No.
Them hoes ain't happy. Half of the people we see on TV and on Instagram, they smile for about as long as it takes for their goddamn picture to be taken. And then they go back to their lives because it's so much work keeping up this facade.
It is. It is a lot of work.
I ain't got that much time.
I've seen some of these people, like, how much work they have to do to take a selfie. Just a simple selfie. They have to set up lights. They have to make sure their makeup is right. And they have to, sometimes they even get somebody else to take the picture for them just for a selfie.
And if that's the life, if that's how you make your bag, that's your job, that's cool, ain't nothing wrong with it, shout out to you. But if you just doing this without a bag to sell a lie, bitch, that's how you stay skinny. You working, you bench pressing lies. All goddamn day. You just, ooh, this is perfect. Ooh, we in love.
I'm
ooh,
so
I'm on
happy.
vacation. Ooh, I'm so happy. Bitch, you are bench pressing 55 pounds of bullshit every day and pushing it to everybody. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
You
I
ain't
love
gonna buy
you,
it.
baby, but I'm not buying it.
And then there's those people who spend their last dollars trying to look like they're going to, do this and that. And then they go to different cities and stuff. They come back, they broke.
That's bullshit. Let me tell you something. $20. Let me tell you where $20 go. Okay. All right, listen. You take $5. You go get your 1 pound of grapes for 88 cents. Okay. Then you get your 3 oodles and noodles. Okay. And then you get your 99-cent juice. Okay. And then you go and then you get your 1 gram of weed. That's $10 depending on who you get it from.
Yeah, depending on who you get it from.
And then you get you a White Owl, and you got change left for the motherfucking day. What are you doing with all your money?
That sounds like a good time to me.
Yes, oodles and noodles, grapes, soda, some shit.
Why grapes?
Some weed. Cause they delicious, man. And when you get them on sale, they so sugary. It's like being on a diet, but not. Because they're filled with sugar, but it's like a fruit. So when you're sitting around your little vegan friends,
you don't feel so bad for eating it.
Oh no, you don't feel bad at all.
Yeah,
you sitting around them and they like, oh, I'm vegan. I believe in veggies and fruits, and you bust out your grapes, bam, bitch, I'm about it. And but it's like it's fruit candy.
It's fruit candy.
It's not that great. It's not.
They're delicious though. You get those grapes that are like this big.
Yeah. The seeded grapes are supposed to be the best for you, but you're lazy.
I
don't
like dealing with.
Yeah.
I don't like dealing with seeds.
No.
Not in a grape. No.
No.
So how are you trying to spread this, positive message through your music and?
Mostly through the way that I live. I live mostly on stage, just performing and things like that. So the way I live should be a reflection of what I say.
Yeah.
It has to be in alignment. It comes with being in alignment with the universe. So you're not chasing things, the things you desire chase you. So yeah, just through the poetry, through the songs, through Indie Artist Cousins, which is the collective and the brand, just letting everybody feel like family. We're learning together. Like I say in every Indie Artist Cousins video, we are learning together. We share advice because we're doing this together.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how did that come about?
I was watching artists make mistakes that I made when I first started.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell them what to do. I wanted to give them advice as to not be in their own way, but I couldn't do it at the studio because I'm an assistant manager. So
yeah.
When you say things to them, then they take it more personal. So I just jumped on my Instagram and was like, "Hey man, your entourage need to do some shit. If you have a whole entourage and they don't do nothing, that's where jealousy and problems come out. So
everybody's got to have their own role.
Give them a job. Yo ass fry chicken, you the chicken fryer. Oh, you know how to parallel park? You parallel park this bitch all the time. You the parallel parker. Everybody got a job so that we can respect what each other do." And I did that one, and that one got really, really good feedback. And I was like,
because it's true, and you're speaking from the heart. You're speaking something that every artist can relate to.
Yes.
Every artist has that one friend that doesn't do anything,
but feels entitled as hell.
Yeah.
My God. I saw that, and it was that one day I was like, I'm not taking this anymore. And I just jumped on my Instagram and was like, fuck your entourage. And and it was cool because it wasn't on the business page. You know, it was totally me.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I like about Baron. They allow me to be an artist outside of them.
Yeah.
Like my social media is my thing.
They don't control anything. That's good.
No.
But how did you come up with the name for Indie Artist Cousins?
Because we're all indie artists, and I felt like it's a very family-oriented spot over at Baron. Everybody feels like family. Everybody feels like a cousin or something. So I was like, you know what? Cousins get on your nerve. You forgive them. You still kick it with them. You know, so I'm like, you're my Indie Artist Cousins. And I just started calling people my cousins. And it stuck. Indie Artist Cousins stuck. And it's great. It's great. We actually have our first Indie Artist Cousins show official. First official show June 14th at Avant Garden.
Okay.
For Indie Artist Cousins. Just picking some artists from around the city, putting them together. And it's not going to be our last one. It's actually just the first.
Yeah.
So I just want to put on shows, create a platform for the cousins to get up and show what they got.
And you know, that whole message is great, being able to tell somebody, because I mean, I watch your stuff. I'm not an artist, but I watch it, and it's like you're giving free game.
But it's stuff that it's usually a mistake that I've made. It's people like, well, how do you know? You're still working. You goddamn right. It's a mistake that I made, and you can learn from anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can learn from the guy on the street. He's been through shit you could learn for yourself. You ain't gotta be the CEO of nothing to spread, you know, some kind of teaching lesson.
And most of those people that really do have it, well, I'm not gonna say most. I need to stop generalizing. Some of those people who really do have it, they're not gonna tell you 100% of what happened when, you know, because they're giving you too much.
Yeah.
They'd rather sell it.
Yeah, that's true.
They'd rather sell. Well, I know this now, so I'm gonna sell it to you.
Everybody wants to sell game.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm learning it. I'm on these roller skates. I'm slipping, falling, making mistakes. I'm gonna tell y'all ass about it along the way. And that's just
not like I'll tell you how to stay on those skates if you pay me.
Right. No, you ain't got to pay me shit. Look, listen to my music, come to my shows, and like my videos. You ain't got to do shit. And if you don't want to do all that, just like my videos.
And follow the Indie Artist Cousins page.
Follow the Indie Artist Cousins page. It's at Indie Artist Cousins on Instagram. And mine as well, Phenomenon the Poet on Instagram. Definitely.
So, yeah, I love those videos that you do. They're great.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad they got a good reception because I was nervous the first 2 or 3.
Which is the one that you've done so far that you feel like is your favorite? Not even the one that's gotten the most.
The one where I was telling artists not to change their names at the last minute because I was talking about an artist came through. Really, really great guy, great music. I listen to Indie Artist Cousins. I have an Indie Artist Cousin playlist. So if you guys want to just DM me your music, if it's on Spotify, I have an Indie Artist Cousin playlist that I put music on just to help with the algorithms. I put indie artists next to big name artists so that when people listen to the big name artists, if I put your music next to theirs enough, the algorithm will suggest your music when someone else is listening to that same big name artist. So that's the point of the Indie Artist Cousins playlist.
Huh. I didn't even know that was...
Oh, yeah, that's very much so a thing.
Huh.
Yeah, because they're looking at what's related. So if I make your music related to other music, it's hopes that your music will be suggested.
Is that only on Spotify or is that like on all...
From my understanding, that's on all streaming platforms.
Okay, well then I have, my everything's mixed in together for me.
That's great. That's great.
I go from listening to Jay-Z to the Slight Team down the road.
Oh, I love Slight Team.
Yep, I go from listening to Jay-Z to everybody. I listen to it all.
Penny, drop a special.
Hey.
Shout out Slight Team, man. They're my Indie Artist Cousins too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were one of my first interviews I did.
Really?
They were one of my first. I think probably my second one, but they're definitely the first one on my channel.
Nice. They some real cool dudes, man.
Yeah, they're cool.
They are.
They're very supportive too.
Yeah. I like that everybody's all about collaborating now.
Yeah.
Because that's what really helps create the structure of a powerhouse city when it comes to entertainment.
Whenever everybody's able to just come together.
Yeah.
I like that. I like being able to see that. Just seeing it from the outside,
Yeah, because you've seen I've felt what it's like when everybody was on their solo dolo thing, and now to be a part of everybody reaching out is great.
So how effective do you think social media and stuff is nowadays, since you're doing a lot of this stuff on social media?
It's very effective. Hell, social media have made celebrities out of people that you would have never seen. It's made millionaires out of people who would have never gotten a dime walking into some of these companies that don't really get it. But the younger people are taking the reins right now, especially with technology, just really exploiting all the opportunities that we have.
Yeah.
So it's great.
I was watching an interview with this guy the other day. I think his name was Kuko. He was an artist. But he was talking about how he doesn't like that record labels see somebody like him, but also somebody like you, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to market somebody like that. How do you feel about that? Like,
to be honest, I don't feel like they knew how to necessarily market the old ones. They just took a formula and stuck that original artist into that formula and made that artist what they wanted to make them. I don't think record labels ever really fully let people be who they want to be.
Yeah.
So now that we don't need record labels,
Independent,
now they're like, well, we got this person. What do we do with them? Take your damn hands off of them. That's what you do. You take your hands off of them and let them do what they do. And then, but man, I feel like the time to need a label is dying. That's why the labels are investing in streaming.
Yeah.
But labels right now are just picking up indie artists that already have their fan base, already have their everything established. They're like, oh, you're popping, we'll take you. And
then some of these artists could do it on their own, but a lot of them feel like they get that, extra boost with a label behind them.
Yeah, and you know what? I ain't shading them for that either.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for people to be like, well, you could do it on your own.
But it's tough.
Yeah, but my man is walking in 100-degree weather and he want a fucking car.
Yeah, it's hard
to do it
by yourself.
So yeah, if he holds out for the long run and keep doing it this way, it'll pay off. But does he have another year of being broke in him? Mm-hmm. Does his mama have another 6 months of not paying that goddamn rent on time? So some of the time you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, definitely. So with Assassin Snail, your latest project.
Yes.
How was it going into this one, and what has the response been from people?
People are very shocked. They're used to me being the girl at Barron. So, and I'm always helping somebody else with their music, or making sure they got their files, supporting them at their shows. But for me to come out, they really did not know that I could do as much as I did, because I sang, I rapped, I did poetry. I did some shit where the song was kind of backwards. Like, I did a lot of original things that they didn't expect out of me. So the response has been really great, and I'm very happy about it. So I'm looking forward to doing more performing that and stuff like that. I don't know. You just can't judge a book by its cover. I said Butch, Floridian Swift.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, because if you just look at you and then you start, especially whenever you start out the album, you're like, all right.
Tell your baby daddy that I'm here, bitch.
Yeah. He gonna rub my stretch marks while he's playing his Xbox.
You goddamn right.
Hey.
That's real life. Real life, man. I'm selling real life, guys.
That is. That's real life. So, I mean, doing this one, and what were you trying to get across? Were you just trying to cover as many, like spectrums as you can, or because it goes from some trap to some slower,
to blues.
Yeah.
I very much so had a point to prove. It was a hey, look at me.
I can do it all.
Yeah, it was like, look at me. Don't overlook me. There are women like me out. Look at me. Look at what I can do. You cannot ignore what I can do. You can't ignore it. You gotta like it. You gotta love it. And I'm eating up all of this other bullshit slowly, like an assassin snail.
See, whenever I heard that, I portrayed it different. I portrayed it as like a slow assassin.
Yeah, it is.
You killing them slowly.
Yeah, slow. It is. It's like, because there's some people now that follow me that had never heard of me, and I've been in Houston working at Barron for some years now. I've been on the poetry scene for some years now. Some people who just not hear my poetry. It's a snail pace, but it's very assassin-like, because when I'm there, you can't ignore it.
Yeah. You have that presence.
Yeah, that queenly regal presence.
That Queen Latifah presence.
Yes. That's how I feel.
See? There you go. Let's where can everybody find your music and your Instagram and everything at?
You can find my music on Spotify, Tidal, Apple, Deezer, if you're international, Google Play. And if you don't have any of those, bitch, call me, okay? I'll make sure you get it.
I'll email it to you.
Yeah, be like, hit me up. We can work something out. You cook gumbo. I will be the one to give a album away for some gumbo.
Hey.
As long as it don't have no okra in it.
Oh, okay.
But you can find me on Instagram at Phenomenon the Poet, PHENOMENON.
It's a long word.
Yes, the Poet. On Instagram, on Twitter, on Spotify, anywhere you look up my music or my poetry, you can find me under Phenomenon the Poet. And I say the Poet, even though I do more, the Poet is the foundation of who I am.
Even on YouTube, if you look up Phenomenon the Poet, you're the only one that pops up. Phenomenon
the Poet. Now, there is a Middle Eastern sister that goes by Phenomena, and she's a poet.
Oh.
Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. But it's totally different.
But it's not Phenomenon.
It's not Phenomenon the Poet, okay? I'm going to love on you, help you praise the Lord, and talk about your baby daddy at the same time, okay? That's what you need in your friend. That's what you need in your musical buddy. And
definitely check out the Instagram. Check out the Indie Artist Cousins Instagram, because you're going to get some free game on it.
Yes, definitely check it out. I'm going to be talking shit in a very non-direct way. I'm not going to offend any of my artists, because I love all my indie artist cousins, but I'm just going to tell you about some mistakes I made, some shit you done done. We're going to be better together.
Yes. All the time. Phenomenon the Poet, I thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me, man.
Anytime. I'm definitely going to try to make it out to that show. I'm going to check it out.
Yes, everybody. Yeah. June 14th at Avant Garden. It's in Under the Influence. We got drink specials, tickets $10. Hit the Eventbrite. We're going to be up in there clowning. It's going to be myself, High Hefner, Retro Rue.
I like High Hefner.
Oh, man. Hefner Chronicles?
Yeah.
Man. Candle Joseph,
I
the
like him.
Neighbors, Chop Star DJ Izzy Ill. Man, we're going to be up in there clowning.
Okay.
So come through.
You got a lot of good artists on there.
Yes.
All right, thank you for coming by. Once again, this episode was brought to you by Fishscale. Fishscale84. Head over to fishscale84.com and Reneka at Builders. Head over to Reneka at Builders.com. Both of them are going to be in the description. Everything that she's talking about, the Eventbrite, everything will be in the description. All her Instagram pages, Twitter pages. Yes. You're going to be able to find it all.
Yes, you will.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay slum.
Roll it up, let it strong. Roll it up, let's roll it up. Why talk about it, be about it, take another shot.